We're going to make cream puff. Okay, cream puff, a pan, water, a cup of water, a cup of flour, a stick of butter, and we're going to use about 4 eggs and a little dash of salt. That's all it is. Sometimes I like to just put a little dash of sugar too. That's just my own way of doing things. So first we boil the water, turn the heat on high, and we put the stick. I like butter. Some people can use margarine, shortening, but I like to use butter. Put a stick of butter in there, then melt it, and we're going to put a dash of salt, and I like to put a little dash of sugar. That's just me. I like to do a little bit of sweet, maybe 2 dash. Oh, what the heck. A little bit more sugar in there. That's it. Now what we're going to do is wait for this butter to melt. Okay, now we're getting, the butter is almost completely melted. You can see there's only a little piece of it floating around here. Very small piece. It's almost gone. So when it's all melted, what we're going to do is put the flour at once. Okay, you can hear it. Oh, there it goes. It's all gone, all melted in there. Okay, this is where it becomes tricky. Okay, we're going to put the flour all at once, and we mix it very quickly. And as you can see, I'm removing it from the heat source because we want the flour, and I'm going to move it a little bit here until vigorously make it, shake it, make it a ball. There you go. There you go. That's the important step of the heat. I'm going to lower the heat a little bit so we don't need it so hot now. Because what we're going to do is calling dry, dessécher. Dessécher la pâte means we're going to dry it up a little bit, like that. Dry it to make it a nice ball. See how it comes off the bottom of the pan? And that's an important little step. Here's your dough. Here's a pâte à choux. That's your pâte à choux right there. See? There it is. That's your pâte à choux. We're going to dry it up a little bit more. So I do this, but then as soon go back like this. And at this point, I think it's good and dry. It makes a nice, as long as it makes a nice ball like that, you're okay. So at this point, we turn the stove off, take it off the source of the heat, and what we're going to do, this is the important step, we're going to incorporate, it's better if the egg are room temperature. They're a little cool in here, but, okay, this one's a little warmer. Room temperature, 1 egg at a time, but what's important is not to over beat the dough. What you want to do is incorporate the egg, and as soon as it's incorporated in the dough, you stop and you incorporate another one. Okay, there we go. One more. We're going to do four of them. Another one. Just not over mixing, just until it's incorporated. That's the last egg. We put 4 of them in there. You know, sometimes if the eggs are small, you can put 5 or 6. If they're big, you may put 3. And of the egg, but I think it looks nice. It's a beautiful, this is a very pretty pâte à choux, cream puff dough. There it is. So now what we're going to do is let it cool completely off. And when it's really cold, we'll take about, depending the size of the cream puff you want. If you want a big cream puff, we can take a tablespoon. If you want a mini cream puff, we'll take a teaspoon. And I'll show you when this is completely cooled, we'll bake them together. Okay, so now we are going to be baking. So you have a choice. You can use, you can spray the pan. A heavy-duty pan is really good. You can spray it, or you can use parchment paper. you know, just to keep them from sticking. That's good. That's one with no flour. Then we're going to make small ones, so you're going to be, mix it up a little bit. You're going to fill up a spoon. You can do it this way, or you can do it with a bag, a pastry bag. So we're going to just put little one like that, and then we'll put them in the oven. In the oven at about 425. You know, check your temperature, make sure it's correct. About 425 for about 15 minutes until they puff. They need the very good heat to puff. Okay, after we have them all on the baking sheet, we will put in the oven about 425. 425 is to have the stove hot enough for the cream puff to puff. And after 10-15 minutes, when I look at it and see that they puff, I lower the temperature maybe to 400, and that is for them to be cooked, and also making sure they're dry inside also, because the problem with cream puff is if they're not dry on the inside, they will collapse the next day, or you know, when you take them off the oven. So we'll look at that and we'll see if sometime that should be enough. I mean, you can use a pastry bag, or you know, you can make also eclair, you know, but we're going to do that. We're going to put them in the oven and see what happens. Here they are. We're going to put them in at 425. There we are, and then we're going to look at the window. 10-15 minutes, we'll look at them and see how they do. Okay, we had it at 425 for 15 minutes. That's about right. They're puffed. Now we got to close it, and the heat goes down to 400, and we're going to let it cook longer, brown, maybe 15-20 minutes, and check them and see how they do. And then we may lower the heat again to make sure they dry really good. Okay, it looks like the cream puff looks ready. So if you look at them now, you can see they look ready. Actually, they come around. Let me take this. You know, they're coming around like that. It's good. And I'm going to take one out just to show you something. Okay, I'm going to pick one up, and I'm going to leave those in. I may lower the temperature again a little bit. But what's important with the cream puff is on the outside it looks just fine, right? And it's light. It's good. But this is what happened. When you slice it, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to do it as an experiment. The inside, right here, needs to be dry also. If it's too moist, then what will happen is the cream puff, after it's out for 15 minutes, it's going to start sinking. So you want it to stay puffed. You want it to be looking dry. So we got to be sure this is also dry. So for that reason, I'm going to leave them in a little bit longer. I'm going to lower the heat, and I'm going to leave them. There's two different things you can do. You can lower the heat, or you can go ahead and give a little slice or pierce, you know, give a little pierce in there, or a little slice, and you put them back if you want to do that. It's a little trouble. Is to make sure the steam comes out of the inside and dries. What I like to do is lower the heat, and this way they don't burn, and give a chance for the cream puff to dry really good. So there's no chance for them to collapse. We don't want them to collapse. So they should be fine. Lower to 275. Sometimes I'm just even lower the heat and leave the stove a little bit open. I can even do that just to make sure they dry up. Okay, I think now they're all ready. Take them out. I think they should be pretty dry. I'm going to put them in. You can almost feel them. You know, they're very light. They should be light and dry. This is the one we cut before. They're very hot. And you can this time do it a little bit more carefully and slice one up before we fill them up. We're not going to fill them up yet. We're going to wait till they're completely cold. Oh yeah, they're perfect. I'm going to cut it completely, but yeah, it's good. This is dry, see? It's not moist. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be really good. They're going to stay like that. They're not going to collapse. We can check that in about an hour or two. You'll see they'll stay just like this. They dried up. Very dry. We'll fill them up later with creme pâtissière, and then we'll decorate them.